Hey everybody, welcome to the DGx Podcast. This is episode 5. This is the Midnight Cast as we are podcasting at after midnight because one of our friends, one of the podcast members here doesn't like to show up on time. So I'm here with Bobby and Jeff. My name is Mike of DGx and we're gonna bullshit. We're gonna talk about video games and life and shit. So,
Hello,
hey.
dudes.
Hello.
I
So,
was late.
well, let's start. Let's start off with Bobby. Yo, what are you up to, man? What you been playing this week? What's going on in the wonderful video game world of Bobo?
Okay. So, been playing a lot of Destiny. Playing. I
So,
just got the Witcher 3 expansion,
Okay, okay.
and I also today got a copy of Yoshi's Woolly World or whatever it's fucking called, the Yarn one, the
Okay.
Yoshi
Yeah.
Yarn.
Yeah. I think it's called. I think you had it right. Woolly World. I think something like that.
yeah.
Have you played any Yoshi, or you just kind of bought it?
I played the first 5 levels. I got to the. It's like Super Mario World in like Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, just kind of.
I'll get into more of
Yeah,
that
we'll
later.
talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little while. Anything else going on? What's in your life, or just everything's all gravy?
Everything's gravy. Been sick this week though.
Yeah, I think I'm coming down with something too.
Sounds like
I do
everybody's
have a
sick.
question. We could talk about it afterwards. Actually, yeah. Bobby, sorry, not Bobby. Jeff, what are you up to?
So I haven't been playing fucking anything because
Oh.
my PC died. In fact, I don't know if I told you guys, I got a fucking ransom virus on my PC.
You did tell me, and
Wait,
you're like,
what?
I don't think it's a ransom virus,
What's a
and I was
ransom
like,
virus? Wait, what?
So,
Can
so it was like the scariest thing ever. I don't think there's anything sensitive on that computer. I never log into my credit cards or anything. I use it for
Yeah.
like games and movies. But I was using my computer.
Okay.
I was watching a movie. Started to lock up. It locked up, and I said, "Fuck it." I got pissed off and changed the input. Just started watching TV. And then my wife's phone rang, and it was some weird ass number. It was like 333, and I'm like, "Fucking, I'll answer it." So she gives me the phone. I answer it. It's like some guy in India, and he's like, "This is Joe from PC support.
Oh,
How are you doing today?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? Why are you calling me?" Like, I tell him to take me off. I'm like, "Take me off your list." I go, "You got the wrong number. Take me off your list." He's like, "No, this is the right number." I'm like, "No, it's not, bro. Take me off." He goes, "If you hang up, we're gonna call you back 1,000 times." I was like, "What?"
he said that?
Yeah, and I just hung up on him. He didn't call back, but then I went back to the other input for my PC, and sure enough, I had blue screen of death.
okay. So can I add it to this story?
Yes.
Because Mike asked what a ransom virus is.
Oh,
No,
yes.
and I know a lot about this because this happens to a lot of people at my job.
How do you
Uh,
get what? Okay,
Wow,
go.
that
Sorry.
sucks. At
So-
work, it happens.
Oh, dude, they target people at jobs all the time.
Wow.
So
That's
basically,
crazy.
what it's called ransomware, and basically it's like malware. It's just like malware you'd get. You need to use malware bytes to remove. Except this is a lot nastier, and actually it's getting nastier and nastier as time goes on. Basically, what they do is you get some fucking program installed on your machine. I don't. You might be browsing too much porn or something's going on,
Oh, that's
And-
horrible.
and doesn't matter how you get it, but if you get it, what happens is they encrypt all your files on your computer, and basically you can't do anything unless you have the key to decrypt the files. So they hold your files for hostage. So they try to get you to pay them to decrypt your shit.
Right.
And,
that's the whole sort of concept, right?
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything like that yet, but when I try to turn that PC on, it won't
Yeah.
load past like the first couple startup programs, and then it just locks. And
That's
I tried to run like some pre-boot antivirus software, and it won't run. And I checked why, and it says, well, one of the reasons that might be is that your hard drive is encrypted. So I think that's probably what happened.
yeah.
Wow. So, what porn sites are you on so I could use different ones?
Yeah, so that's the thing. This is my living room computer. I don't sit here on it browsing porn. I download games on Steam. I don't even
Hold on.
download like
So, are you
illegitimate
are
games
you,
on
are
it.
you above looking at porn in the living room?
No.
Okay.
I'm- I'm not
So wait a
above it.
minute.
I just don't do it usually.
Let's okay. Well, it may not. I'm just saying. I just said porn earlier because that's just a common vector for
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
I am willing to bet, and I could be wrong, so don't take this the wrong way, but does your woman also use this machine?
No, not
Oh,
really.
okay. Okay, so then
Not
that
really.
throws that theory out the window.
So
You're saying
do,
Gabe
however,
what you're saying is Gabe Newell is the guy on the Indian guy on the phone.
I don't think this. I don't think so. Here's so the only things I've installed on this machine are Discord, very very recently, which I can't. I don't feel like that's the issue.
All right.
And I do have. I will say that I have Couch Potato and Sub NZBD set up on that computer. I won't say what I do with those things.
Oh, you
But-
know what though?
I don't know if it's possible that a movie made it in, and then I played it over Plex or something, and somehow that movie had something in it. I really don't know.
That is likely.
Yeah, so
if
it must have been something like that.
yeah, and SAB and CBD, it's don't get me wrong, but it's not necessarily the safest piece of software out there, you know.
And Couch Potato probably too. It's
Yeah.
maybe not Couch Potato so much because it's not downloading anything. Stop NZB knew what to do.
Well, so
Yeah,
so basically,
but-
you need a new hard drive.
You know what's really shitty is that I have my external hard drive hooked to that computer where all my movies and all my game installations from Steam are, and a whole bunch of backup pictures and files and stuff. And now I'm scared to plug that hard drive in. So
It's
I got to
very
figure
hot-
out a plan.
Well,
You actually-
take off the old hard drive and just boot from the clean one.
No,
No, I mean my external. Like I don't want to plug
yeah.
my external into.
they
a different
might.
computer.
Well, the
Right.
way those
Yeah.
things usually work, if you got one of the nastier ones, they encrypt everything. That's
I'm also afraid of that.
so.
So
Yeah, that happened to our job. Like it would encrypt network drives. Like it was like people got network drives encrypted.
Wow, dude,
But-
that is
but-
fucked.
It's fucked up, but keep regular backups, so we're able to go back and restore. So we're lucky on that front.
Wow.
Basically,
I don't keep-
basically, you know what helps against that, and you know what people hate it, but UAC keeps that from happening.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck's UAC?
User account control.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you don't allow programs to do things without your permission, it can't do it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
the way we keep people from being able to have it happen at work is we don't even use USC. We just strip admin rights from everybody. Because without admin rights, none of that shit can happen.
that
but yeah.
sucks, Jeff. That sucks ass.
But Jeff, you do have a PS4.
So I'm in a bad spot with that
But you haven't
PC. I
played
don't know
anything
when
on
I'm
the
going to be able
PS4?
to.
You haven't played anything else? No games this week?
Well, yeah. So I've moved on. I bought the Witcher expansion, which I totally forgot about, and then installed it, and I actually have it up right now. I'm looking at the screen, and it's cool. It's actually asking me if I want to start fresh or load a previous save game or only play Hearts of Stone. So
It's very
I think
much
I'm
like
going
you
to-
buy a game and forget you had it. That's actually a very Jeff
Yeah.
thing to do.
yeah, I've done that a few times actually.
If I could give you some advice, Jeff, I would say just use your save.
Yeah, I was going to use my
I
save,
don't
but
know
I
if his
wasn't
save's
sure
high enough.
how I
his,
get
his save's
to.
not 30 plus,
with
is
the-
it?
Oh yeah,
Oh, it is? Okay.
yeah. I'm 35 or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'm
lost
like
it.
30. Yeah, I'm like 35 too, and I had the difficulty up like on the second highest one, the one that's higher than the normal difficulty, and then I turned it back down to normal because I was like, okay, this is too hard now. It's actually kind of challenging. It's good though. The reason I turned it up was because I was murdering things in the main game
Yeah.
fairly easily. So I was
Oh,
like, you
yeah,
know what?
that's-
I didn't want to like breeze through the expansion
Yep.
without,
Yeah.
and it's kind of challenging. So I actually turned the difficulty back to normal.
So I think Mike and I have had that conversation too. Like after I don't know level 20-ish or level maybe 18.
Yeah, there's
Like,
a point
the
there
game
where
gets
on
pretty
25
easy
where you
depending on what
can
you're
just
doing.
kill anything pretty simply
Yeah.
just by swinging over and over again.
Actually, there's like a giant at one point that I think almost bested me, or did get me the first time I fought him or something. But that was like the first time in a lot of quests where I had a problem. And I don't do potions and stuff. Like at some point, I was interested in potions early in the game, and I was like, okay, this is cool. mechanic, I can make potions and then like put them on my sword, and it'll be more effective against a witch or something. But like, I don't know. After a little while, it didn't even like. I found some cool gear and I got my freaking powers up and started leveling, and I was just like, I was kind of just.
I never stopped using potions.
Really?
Yeah, I love them. I love being able to cut a head off in one swing if
potions.
I can.
Let it be known here, Bobby loves fucking potions.
Yeah.
I don't like to fuck potions. I just like using them.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I have been playing a lot of Destiny with Bobby, and this sucks because after I pled with Bobby for help last episode, I said I need to stop playing Destiny. What does Bobby do? He then gets into Destiny, which then gets me more into Destiny because now Bobby is also playing Destiny. So basically,
yeah, actually,
yeah, I play shit ton
I
of
think
Destiny.
the title of last episode was almost Bobby, please help me stop playing Destiny or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Destiny. That's kind of what I've been doing.
The title of this episode should be maybe I can't stop playing Destiny anymore. That's a bad
still
title.
playing Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we want to go into it right now, but
No, we're gonna get to that when we get to the news.
Yeah.
All right, so let's change it up here. Give me 1 second. So news. First item on our docket, that new Yoshi game, the Yoshi's Woolly World or something. Bobby bought it. So Bobby,
something about yarn.
Talk to us about yarn and Yoshi's and Yoshi's Island.
Okay. So it's $60.
Before we go into this, this game came out in Japan and Europe months ago. It's coming to the U.S. It came out to the U.S. now, just to be clear. All right, sorry, go.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I didn't know that. I don't think it really matters. I'm not sure why it took so long to come out.
Well, nobody knew. It was this weird thing where, like, all right, like people say, okay, it needs to be localized, but like they clearly translated it to English if it's out in England, and it was out, like literally 3-4 months ago. I don't know the release date, but it was a long time ago.
Okay. Well, I'll be honest. I was looking forward to the game.
All right.
But it wasn't like, oh my god, how could they release it over there early? Like I wasn't like that, Like I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they did it that way.
Yeah.
There's probably some
There's probably
my
some
guess,
money reason.
No, I think I know exactly why they did it. That and Mario Maker are their two titles for the holiday season in America. Black Friday is a big thing here. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if they do Black Friday over in Europe. I don't know if they have something like that over there, but over here, that's a big deal.
So
I'm guessing that's why they timed that release then.
Just to let you know, it came out June 25th, Australia, June 26th, Europe, July 16th, Japan, and then October 16th, North America. That's the most crazy Nintendo release dates I've ever heard.
Wow, weird. It's got to be all money and marketing.
It's got to be something it's got to be something. I don't know what it is. I'd love to be able to speak to like a Nintendo like PR person and be like, hey, so why the fuck did Yoshi's Woolly World come out in Europe like 5 months before it came out in the US?
Maybe next podcast we can just invite one of them on.
All right, you know what? I'm emailing them right now, Jeff.
I've got it. Man, that would be great if we could have guests on our podcast.
I mean, we can have them. There's just no guest that would actually do it.
Oh yeah, we don't. If we had an install base,
that's
who
funny.
Listened,
I could get Beasley.
Yeah.
Yes, let's just start getting regular people. We did have Ozzy
Today's
that one
guest
time.
star. That's true.
All right, sorry. You were talking about Yoshi. You said it was $60.
Okay, so it's $60. But before I go and grilling the price for what it is,
Right.
it is a pretty game. The game is, I think it's one of the more gorgeous games this generation.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I wouldn't. The yarn look is, they should. I think they made a good move with that. It's a fun platformer. I mean, anybody who's going, it's like Nintendo's greatest thing. I don't think anybody's doing that. I haven't really read any reviews. It's like Yoshi's Island with a new coat of paint and some new gameplay mechanics. To be fair, I've only played through like halfway through the first world, but it also has co-op play, which is good because I want to play it with my girlfriend.
Can I talk about some critical shit I've read about it?
I guess no. I don't know if I've experienced any of it yet. So, but go ahead.
I guess the biggest thing that I've heard about it, and you know, I'll tell you who said it. Giant Bomb Guy said it. Is that it's 2015, and they're trying really hard to make the game play like, you know, that the old, you know, Yoshi's Island, and the problem is like you still have to press a button to aim that stupid egg, and they don't no one understands why they couldn't use the right stick, because every controller in the world has a right stick now. And it's like,
I mean, even the gamepad has a right stick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why in the world are you not aiming with the right? Why this old archaic like Super Nintendo control method?
Okay, I get that. I get that criticism. I didn't think about it until you mentioned it, and it makes a lot of sense. But I don't find it game breaking. Well, that's what one of the guys said.
One of the guys was a big Yoshi's Island fan, and he was like, you know, you're right. That's a great idea, and I don't know why they didn't do it, but yeah, it still feels like Yoshi's Island, which if you liked it, which I do, I actually play Yoshi's Island every couple years. I pop it in and give it a go, and it's still one of my favorite SNES games. I love that game.
So, with that being said, though, the price is wrong, I feel.
$60 is a lot of bucks, man.
It is a lot of bucks. And this is the thing, and I keep using Witcher as like this thing, but it's just a good example. In this case, I could use any game with a huge
Witcher's
budget.
Kind of my gold standard with video games right now.
Yeah, but that's
a good example.
It set the bar. It did set the bar higher, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's personally, it's my game of the year this year so far, unless Fallout 4 does some miraculous crap. Witcher is going to be game of the year until the end of the year.
My game of the year right now also, and I know people think Metal Gear. I think Witcher for sure.
Metal Gear's I wouldn't even have it as a runner-up. I love Metal Gear, but it's a fun game, but it wouldn't be the only game I'd want to play. There's just no way.
All right. Well, I don't want to get this turned into a versus thing. Yeah, let's back to Yoshi.
Yeah. So anyway. $60 for Yoshi's Island, and this isn't me crapping on the developers or crapping on Nintendo or anybody who likes the Yoshi's Island or anything, but it's not a $60 game. I mean, if you look at The Witcher, that had $80 million budget, lots of production value in the game. If you take one side quest or maybe two side quests from The Witcher, that equals probably the budget for Yoshi's Island, or rather Yoshi's Woolly World. And that's kind of the thing. It's not like I don't think that development time and work and creativity didn't go behind the game, but the game's still very much the same mechanics as Yoshi's Island was, which is not bad, but it's not $60 anymore. I mean, let's get realistic. I mean, that $40 is more realistic. I think that's a fair price for a new game. But $60, it's like, I think Nintendo, it's just like, I'm being an idiot because I spent the $60.
Yeah, I guess that was my follow-up question. You did you know that it wasn't worth $60 before you bought it?
No. But like I said earlier, I was looking forward to it. I mean, I was interested in playing it.
Yeah.
I did feel like the price was too steep, but I had my reason to buy it, and I guess Nintendo's counting on that. Like, oh well, people are gonna buy it anyway, and and I hate to feed that attitude to them, but it's hard. It's like Nintendo, even Sony, and Microsoft to some extent, sort of like I like to say copy the Steam way by like making sales eventually, but Nintendo's like they're really stingy about like the pricing of their games. Like they still price their games like, yeah, Super Mario Brothers, yeah, that's $60, right? I mean, it's not $60, but if you go to like eShop, it's still like what, $3? It should be $3 for every classic NES Mario game.
Yeah.
Like for a whole package of all of them. Anyway, point is, I think the game's good, and I think if you're really pinched for money, I think get a physical copy when someone trades it in later, because I'm pretty certain that's going to be a game people buy, play, and then trade in, or get a GameFly subscription and like get one of those specials and get it that way, and play it that way. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I mean, I'm still going through it. I might have more to say about it next week.
What about you, Jeff? You getting it?
But
what's up? You buying that Yoshi?
I'm not going to buy that game.
I am also
no
not going
offense
to buy
to
that
anyone
game.
else who bought it.
I will, however, if you feel like mailing it to me when you're done with it, I will play it. I'm probably not going to buy it either.
Well, and I will say this: once you mail it to Mike and he's done playing it, I'll play it.
I bought it digital.
Oh,
I buy everything digital.
If you want to mail me your Wii U. All right, so the next item on our agenda is Destiny. So we've been playing a lot of fucking Destiny, Bobby. Bobby has been playing some, like every time I log onto the PS4 now, Bobby's playing fucking Destiny. It makes me happy and sad at the same time. Part of me is like, dude, I've been wanting this guy to get into Destiny for a while because I knew once he got hooked, he'd be in there and he'd be on our, we'd do Nightfalls and we'd do the cool shit and maybe we have another guy for our raid group. So that's good. And now it's another person that I like talking to that I can play Destiny with, and we can just sit there and play video games and run Cord and do all that stuff. The sad part is like I literally told you, damn near begged you to help me get off Destiny, and you responded to that by getting into Destiny. So yeah, let's talk about Destiny again.
I bought the expansions and then I bought the Taken King. I have to play it. I mean.
Yeah. But you didn't have to get into it.
To be fair, the game's much better now than it was. Like, I'm like Jeff. Like, I played the game originally, went through the story. I don't know if Jeff finished the story, but once that was done, yeah. I was kind of done with it. Once that was done, I was done with the game. I did want all the next nice gear and everything, but the work you had to go through for it just wasn't it just wasn't fun. I just didn't feel like doing that, and the content was kind of lacking.
Yeah. So
that work, there wasn't enough variety to do that. Now there's a lot more variety. Yeah. Sure, you still go through a lot. There's still a lot of the same areas you still run through anyway, but there's more areas to do, and there's more things to do, different ways to do things, different quests to turn in. There's actually, let's put it this way: there's more than just the story quest. Because before it was like, okay, story quests and patrol missions, and that was basically the meat of the game before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very thin.
Now
before. You were running the same stuff a lot.
Now the game is, like you said it before, the game is what it should have been when it launched. If they had waited a year and launched it, which I can see why they didn't. I mean, they got Activision on their ass, probably saying, "We need money."
Also, besides that, like they didn't need to. Like people still flocked to and bought that game, and like even as shitty as it used to be, like they didn't need to spend an extra year. They could get that money.
I don't want to make it sound like it was shitty. I don't think the game was shitty.
The gameplay of Destiny has always been great. I mean, like the amount of content for $60 back then was pretty lacking.
So we could probably compare that to Witcher again. Like I think Destiny is like maybe 1/10 of Witcher.
I don't even think it's that. You're going by Witcher standards. Destiny is like content-wise. Destiny's probably a 16th. There's a lot of shit in Witcher, man.
But Destiny is also a multiplayer game, and Destiny did something that's really hard to do. It brought me back to play it again. Yeah. I'm interested. I didn't just come back and played it and like went through the expansions. So now I actually care about getting more gear and going on raids and strikes and getting my light level up and all that stuff, because you actually move forward, you make progress when you play the game a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the danger in that is that, okay, I'll just do this one daily. Okay, now I'll do this other daily. Oh, now I'll just do some patrols to get some motes of light. Now but the thing is, you get it's that gratification you get from the game for doing little tasks, and that was what was missing before. And that's what I like about it. It's like, okay, now I can play the game for 2 hours or 6 hours and get gratification out of it
Yeah.
because you accomplish something. You may not accomplish like a main goal of like getting a new weapon. Excuse me. But you do accomplish something towards progressing in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas other games, like you could, like before, or in other MMOs, where you could like go on a raid for like 3 hours and then end up with nothing, and then you just wasted that 3 hours.
FYI,
And that's what I didn't like about those games.
FYI, you can still totally do the raid in Destiny and not get shit. That still happens. Just so you know, like, the raid is still a buddy fucking motherfucker. Like, the raid it can be really great and really shitty. Like, yeah, the raid.
See, I was
Well,
going to
that's
try it
depressing.
again, but not now.
No, you should try it again. And we
No,
ran
you should
Bobby,
definitely
we
do
ran
it.
Bobby through Vault of Glass, and it was a blast, dude. You know, it was just like, you know, we got...
Yeah, dude, and I was severely underleveled too.
No, actually, you were at the right level. We were all just over leveled.
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
you were at a good level to do it.
it wasn't as hard as it was when it first came out. When I saw videos, and I was like, the raid looks so hard
So
and annoying.
So like the level you were at, like imagine everybody, like all 6 people was that level, and then you had to do that
Yeah.
fucking raid. It was bad.
By the way, this exotic sniper rifle is pretty cool looking.
It looks cool. I don't know if it fires well, and if yeah, I'm gonna try it out later tonight.
It's got a 4-round clip though.
Yeah, don't miss, motherfucker. I want them to make a
But,
YouTube version of the icebreaker.
I would be super happy if Jeff played the game again.
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
be awesome.
That would be awesome. I'd be into that. I would watch a video of that.
So I'll play it again, but I don't think I can play, even if I got into it, I don't think I can play maybe like every day and for a few hours a day.
Yeah, I don't know that you have the time to do the type of dedication Destiny requires of someone.
Right.
I don't think I do, but I fucking... God, this is why I wanted to quit Destiny. Fuck my life, man. Alright, let's move off of Destiny, because we give Destiny a lot of time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
I'm actually playing it right now.
let's actually talk about some new news. Alright, so I got this off of the Giant Bomb guys also, because they brought me... They started talking about this, and it made me start digging, and I wanted to see Bobby's stance on it, because I had mentioned something like this, I don't know if you remember, on a chat the other day, and now it's just really pissing me off. So Konami made some updates to Metal Gear.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna
The
go.
release notes didn't really cover any of this. They kind of was really sly about it, and they made changes to the system. They made changes to the way the bases work and your resources worked to be more dependent on the online stuff, and to make it more lucrative for people to jack you, right? And like basically they made it so that just playing single player was not as lucrative as it was when the game launched. And then what happened is, like, if you play online, people could take your stuff. And then for real money, Jeff, for real American dollars, you can buy insurance for your base so that when people come jack your shit, you don't lose it. Because if you lose...
By the way, it's not guaranteed insurance either.
Oh, even better. Jesus Christ. So basically...
Oh wait, no. No, actually, I got that wrong. It's guaranteed. What you keep, what you lose, but it doesn't protect you. It just
it
insurance.
just makes so you don't lose it.
Yeah.
So basically, they skew the numbers to make it more dependent on online stuff, and then they make it so that you can lose more because more of it is based on the online stuff, and then for real money you have to pay if you want to protect your online stuff. So basically you have to like almost dedicate yourself to always protecting your base and always keeping an eye on shit and spending a lot of time working on that crap and paying the money for insurance if you really want to get the high level stuff, because all the high level stuff requires such a ridiculous amount of resources
So
that you need to do it.
I've seen various things because right now, okay, uh, that doesn't. I haven't been affected by it. I have two bases. People try to raid it all the time. It defends itself pretty well. Uh, I don't. I think it's dumb. I don't think they. I don't. From what I understand, it's not affecting people in the way they say that it's affecting them. But the problem is, I'm not sure because I don't have a low level base anymore. You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
I think you're the minority. I think you've gotten past whatever echelon it is that you're pretty protected. And I think guys like me that didn't spend a lot of time building an online base, like my shit gets hit. Like my shit just gets hit like all the
Yeah.
time, and there's nothing I could do about it. I try to go there and protect it, and the guy will kill me in 4 seconds. And
Well, I never actually go back to my base and protect it. I just my base protect itself.
well, that's what I'm
Even
saying.
when
I
my
can't.
base was low,
I
I just
can't.
well,
And
well,
then
right. Well, what,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well. See, but that's the thing. Right now, they moved certain resources to being online only, or rather, it's still
More
real
of this stuff is
resources,
online.
but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that was a fucking dick move. Sure. I I don't know. I just you don't turn around and do that, and that's a Konami way. I mean, they're like a pachinko company.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. Like um, basically, actually, if you look at a lot of mobile games, not all mobile games, but a lot of mobile games that ask you to put money into them, if you could look at them like slot machines, they're like, it's like they're gearing it toward gamblers or something.
They really
You
are.
know.
And to put this,
Um,
just to kind of explain to Jeff, because I know he hasn't played Metal Gear yet. It's like so as you progress in the game, you get all these resources, like all these metals and fuels and all this stuff, and you can hold like a maximum amount of it, right? And then you get to
okay.
a certain point in the game where they let you open an online base, which lets you get more of that stuff.
Okay.
Which sounds fine. Like, yeah, okay, I could use more of this stuff. But then there's guys like me that either don't have time or just don't want to do the online stuff. So I don't even pay attention to the online stuff, and I just say fuck it. I'm gonna just deal with what I can get based on my single player base and what people don't steal. And then they
which is
did
what I would do.
that's just exactly, yeah, that's what I would do for any game. And then they changed it so that more of it, like more of the stuff, you can do less with your single player base now. They made more of it based on the online stuff. So now
So they want you to do the online stuff.
they are forcing, they're all, I mean, they're not forcing you, obviously. You still can just say no, I'm not doing it. But yeah, they're highly incentivizing you doing the online stuff. And then they put a monetary value on protecting it if you get to a point where like, oh, I really need to save up
So
this money and I keep getting jacked.
but that's the real problem. I don't think the problem is that they put the resources online. That's annoying. Don't get me wrong, but the real problem is that they're giving you this insurance option instead of
Yeah.
like giving you any instead of balancing it another way. Be like, okay, if your resources online, then here's ways to develop your online base faster, but not without spending money. Like I like games that okay, you could get the stuff without purchasing it, like a monetized value.
Yeah.
Like it exists in the game without purchasing it through like whatever mother base coins or whatever the fuck they call them, um, um, or you just go or you buy the mother base coins if you're just some guy who doesn't give a fuck about his money and throws it in a fireplace. That's fine, but the problem is it's like, okay, we're gonna make this. They're obviously gearing that design change towards the insurance. They want you to buy it,
Correct.
and I'm hoping, and I don't think this is going to happen, but I'm hoping that they see that people are like, you, dude, this is really fucking dumb.
I
Don't
doubt
do
that.
it.
Like it seems
Change
like
it.
seems like that company doesn't
It's
give a fuck anymore.
It really does. And that's why I'm not seeing it change. But maybe the thing is, I don't know. It's like, why do that? Make more content instead of making these stupid little transactions.
So as like Mike said, I haven't played Metal Gear, so I don't have a lot of context on what's happening there.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of a slippery slope.
Well, let's just yeah, it is a slippery
It
slope. Like,
seems
imagine
so
if they
fucking
did that in
grimy.
The Witcher.
It seems so.
Well, what I mean is,
imagine having free-to-play mechanics in your $60 game.
not only that, but like if you have, let's say you had something in the where you have to buy it with the thing that you, so you play the game longer and you coins, let's say.
Yeah.
And then there's something in the game that lets you buy stuff. I mean, Destiny does that, right? So you earn strange and get legendary weapons with your.
Yeah.
Now, let's say and Destiny's adding microtransactions. I don't know that they're going to, but
it's like
let's
supposed
say they
to be
start selling
cosmetic only,
coins.
but yeah.
So let's say they start selling strange coins, and you can buy strange coins.
See, once
weapons.
Destiny does that, fuck Destiny. Like, once
Right.
Destiny sells,
But
yeah, no. I mean,
here's
I would
the
be
thing.
so
So
upset.
here's my point. If I can earn those coins in game, and the method to earn them is reasonable compared to the method to buy them, I don't think that's a problem. But why would they not weight it higher towards the people who are just going to pay them? Like that's what I mean is a slippery slope. Like you can add that into your game, but like at what point is it? You're a business, right? You made this game to make money. At what point does it not make sense to make it easier for people to just get that shit?
Here's the other thing though. Like, just using Destiny example. So like, say it's strange coins, right? Problem is if you add, I think, and I'm hoping I'm right about this. Maybe this is my observation, but I think if Destiny sold, let's say, strange coins in this example, they sold them. I think it would end up their population would start diminishing, and the reason I say that is because if people get their reward just by buying it, you know, they'll get it quickly, and then they'll get tired of it quickly, and then they'll stop playing. But then what will happen? But what will happen is then they'll just start making even more content for them to buy.
Yep.
Or rather, with the strange coins, and then eventually they're going to be like, "Well, why are we even selling strange coins? Let's start selling weapons."
Yeah, let's just let's just sell them exotics. We'll open the new exotic store. Fuck it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I don't want. I'm afraid that eventually this is going to be a regular thing.
I'm sure.
It's
yeah.
Not every game's going to have it. Not every game's going to have it. I think we can count on that. Not every game's going to have it.
Yeah, I mean, you got
because we know that
like
people
CD
hate it.
Project is. I can't imagine we'll ever adopt some shit like that.
But let's be honest. Like the big developers are not going to look at there's success behind it.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? So the big developers are going to see that success, and it's not developers that are usually making that decision. It's usually a marketing exec or a CEO or somebody at a big a big publisher that's saying, "Hey, man, why are we throwing away money?" And they're gonna push that. So what I mean is, not every game's gonna have it, but it's gonna become more and more and more common. And if you asked me like 5 years ago, I was like, "Nah, people hate that shit. They will know that's not gonna happen."
No one's gonna do that.
Yeah, sure, it's for mobile. It's for mobile games. It's not gonna go to console games. But guess what? It's happening, and it's only gonna keep happening. I mean,
you really know how to make a guy feel good, man.
Well, okay, so I mean, I hate to bring everything full circle to Witcher, but I feel like
I don't believe that you hate
there
that.
have to be. No, I don't hate that. You're right. There have to be other studios that see CD Projekt Red and think, "Wow, that's a great way that they do their business." You know what I mean? Like,
and
I don't remember what and Bobby, you mentioned earlier. I don't remember what their budget was, but they've made so much money off it, and they've been very, very generous.
Yeah.
So, and even their expansion adds 10 hours or something to the game, $8.
Yeah,
if you're on PS4.
That's called
that's so
awesomeness.
Great.
Right. Yeah. Fuck, man. I wish.
So I don't think everything in the future is microtransactions.
I don't
Like,
think
at least
everything
we
is,
have
but I do think it's
Steampunk
going to be
2077.
very common. And
Maybe.
the thing is, they don't need to convert us. They just need to get kids to think it's the normal thing. That's the thing. They just need to get kids to not understand something different. That there was something different and better. They're just like, well, I don't know what the big deal is, because that's the attitude when you're a fucking dumbass teenager.
Well, that's the attitude when you don't know any better, right? If that's the only thing, you've ever had, that's what you think it is.
Yeah.
I'm just a dumbass teenager. Please don't make fun of me.
I don't mean all teenagers are dumb. It's just,
I
know.
do. I think
I
totally think every teenager in the world's a fucking idiot.
I was a fucking moron when I was a teenager.
I was a moron. I mean, I'm still a moron, but when I was a teenager,
moron?
when I was a teenager, I was a much bigger moron.
Basically, I just learned how to work a job now.
I basically just make money now.
Yeah, that's kind of all I know how to do.
Basically, our overall consensus on this Metal Gear nonsense is that it's shady, but what the fuck can you do?
So it sounds like we're trying to get past Metal Gear, but do you guys think that Konami and Kojima splitting had anything to do with fucking nonsense?
I'm pretty sure that Kojima leaving Konami was because he realized that they're not into games the way they used to, and he's very much into games.
Yep.
I actually think this is what I understand is that most of it, he's a AAA developer.
Yeah.
They just want to make mobile games and pachinko games. They want to make the mobile game money, which is big money. I don't blame the company for that. They pulled the plug on the game, and now they're basically trying to cash in on as much as they can, because the game was expensive. It was also $80 million to make that game.
Wow.
That game,
it was like years and years, right?
No, it was $80 million, and they also developed that engine. And I'm surprised that they made as much as they did when developing that engine over the course of several years and making that game's content. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, this is probably the last Konami game I will ever purchase.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it might be the last one that's worth shit too.
So. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, well, the guy who developed Castlevania, he's got. I'm not sure if it was successful, but he has a Kickstarter to make his own Symphony of the Night type game. I think all those.
But I'm not sure. I think it was successful.
Capcom. I mean, I don't care about Street Fighter anymore. I know people do, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Street Fighter.
Yeah, I like Street Fighter, but it's not like it used to be.
I mean, actually, Kickstarter's been great for some of those developers. If you like that, say, hey, you know what? We can still make those games. We just don't make them in the same brand.
Some fucking
like
cash.
Mighty Number 9.
Yeah. All right. Well, here, let's move on here to my next thing, and that is the Wall Street Journal put out an article today saying that the new Nintendo NX is a home console with some kind of mobile hybrid, and they're sending out dev kits right now.
Yeah.
What do you think about your console that can split off into a mobile thing and go somewhere with you, and then also be your console? Because it sounds like a Wii U that you can take the gamepad somewhere else.
It sounds like a very Nintendo thing to do, and I think I think the concept is great, but
it's one of those things that sounds good in theory.
They're just going to screw it up.
I said this earlier. I could think of all the neat reasons why it's awesome, and Nintendo will not do any of those things.
He did say that earlier.
How about you tell us? You tell us what those things are, and that way we all know, and it's on record.
The way I imagine it working, okay, is if they made comparable hardware to the PS4 and the Xbox One, and this is me projecting that they're going to release it in a couple years, next year.
They did say it was going to be like good hardware. I forgot the phrasing they used, but they said something
I think it was industry leading.
Industry,
yes, that sounds right.
Yeah, I don't. The problem with that is that I think I've heard that before, and it's not industry leading. It's just something. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, it's like a GTX 560.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not saying that's what it's going to
said
be.
that with the Wii U. They said this exact same thing with the Wii U.
Well,
Yeah,
at the
and that's
time,
what I mean.
The Wii U
It's
was
like,
more powerful
yeah.
than the fucking 5-year-old 360 and the fucking
And
5-year-old.
that's
right.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen with the PS4 and the Xbox One.
But let's say it's a little bit better. It's probably maybe it's like 2% better than the PS4 and the Xbox One, whatever.
All right.
But let's say the hardware's good, and the cool thing is, like, yeah, my guess is this: they see their success in the 3DS. They do have third-party support in the 3DS. Not the same like you get on consoles because it's not the same games, right? But there's a strong lineup on that console. If they could make a comparable hardware to current consoles, if they make it with x86 technology, like the Xbox One and the fucking PS4 are, PC architecture,
Uh-huh.
then they won't have really any problems getting developers on board. If they
That's not true. If that controls something fucking stupid.
wait. Well, I think this is the thing. If it's a portable console, I don't think they're going to go away from traditional controls. I could be wrong. I'm not going to say that's 100%
I
certainty,
think you're right,
but
I wouldn't put it past them.
yeah, I wouldn't put it past them either. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to have egg on my face when they reveal like the Nintendo suppository. Like that's how you play the game now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think it's a good idea. It's like, okay, you're playing Destiny, and then you go on a road trip, or you're going not a road trip, you're going on a flight somewhere. Maybe Destiny's not a good example, but let's say, like The Witcher. Let's say The Witcher, like they make Witcher 3 for it, and you could play that on the fucking flight. That's what I think. That's the future of gaming. I would buy that. I would love that.
I would buy that tomorrow.
Yes, I would, and that's what I'm saying. That sounds like a great fucking idea. They even sold that for $500. I'd buy it because it's portable and you can have it. But
you know what's even better about that idea is that people that love Nintendo from when we were kids would buy that specifically for that reason.
You know what though?
Like, oh, I can go do something else. I can go on a flight.
I think here's the thing. I think you're wrong. I mean, not you personally are wrong. I think that someone else already had this idea, and it's called Sony, and they made. I think Sony proved and Nintendo proved that people don't. They think they do, but people don't actually want to take consoles on the road. They don't. They want the idea that it's there, but anytime.
I don't agree with you.
Wait. What do you mean?
Absolutely wrong with that.
The Vita,
I think
I don't agree.
The Vita is not. The problem with the Vita is that it's got proprietary storage, expensive, can't have too many games, and they didn't make any games. I would play more games on the Vita if there were games.
Well, here's the thing.
That's the failure behind
it. Here's the thing. When they made those console quality games, when they made the Uncharted and shit like that, no one bought them. Nobody really wants console games on a mobile. They want mobile games on a mobile. Console games don't work well on a mobile device. Like,
no, that's not true. You're talking about phones versus portable.
No, I'm talking about
a 3DS.
Like 3DS games are successful for a reason because they're usually made pretty mobily. Not like mobile phony, but like there's no mobile game that gives you a console experience. There's a couple old PSP ones that are pretty much console games, but they didn't sell well because that's not what people get their shit for.
Yeah, but that one of the biggest reasons is the PSP sucked, and the original 3DS didn't suck, but doesn't have that experience. Is it didn't have a second analog, and they solved that problem with both those consoles. But the problem, like I said, the Vita's issue was that Sony did not market it properly, and it also didn't support it properly. It didn't. It fucking slap. It's like, okay, buy our fucking super expensive portable console. Oh, and then also buy this super expensive 8 GB memory, fucking memory stick that you could put one game on it.
Yeah. So there was a time I think when Sony could get away with it, and it's long past. Like people aren't buying that shit anymore. They're just not doing it.
I don't think
And
I don't think a mobile. I mean,
So here's the thing, more. I think having console quality games on a handheld is different than having a console that has a handheld you can play the same games on. That's a different thing.
all right. So imagine.
So
imagine,
I think that idea is very attractive.
I mean,
actually.
so
Yeah.
basically what you're saying is like right now, if you could take your Wii U gamepad and just run around with it, it would be worth $500.
Okay, actually, let's
I don't
actually
know
look
about
at it like,
$500, but
let's look at it this way, and I hope maybe they'll do it like this, and maybe it'll be something like. But imagine this future, and forget Nintendo. But imagine like your phone, like you were talking about the Windows Phone,
Okay.
right? But imagine that playing any of your PC games, and you just like dock it somewhere, or just rest it somewhere, and you could just like Bluetooth a gamepad to it. Would you not do that?
No,
I would do that if I could do that.
That sounds cool, except like when it comes down to it, like every time, like I don't know, I used to think it would be great to have a lot of these old PC games on mobile, like some of these Final Fantasy games are now showing up on phones, and I would like, man, it'd be great to have that stuff on the go. And I bought Final Fantasy 7 on iOS, and then I played it, and then I realized like, you know what? There's a reason that this shit wasn't on iOS originally. It's because, like, at some point, who cares? Like I don't know.
Yeah, but I think you're missing the point about, or rather, not the point, but the market. We're adults, but
I mean,
for me, the
sure,
advantage
my
I have
age.
for this situation, well, no, but hear me out for a second.
You don't have
My
to insult me,
advantage
man.
for the well, my advantage in this situation is I take the bus to and from work, so I have plenty of time to mobile game. So do kids.
True.
And if kids could get like a PS4 on the road to play Destiny or whatever game, guess what they're going to do? They're going to ask for that. And guess what parents are going to do? Hey, play this so you can shut the hell
See,
up while we're driving over here or whatever.
I seriously think that you're wrong. I think if you give a kid, hey, what do you want? This new Nintendo thing? For Nintendo, the kid who did not grow up with Nintendo, you want this new Nintendo thing or do you want an iPhone? I think that kid wants an iPhone.
I think a kid's going to get an iPhone anyway, Mike. That's the point. They're not. It's not like a kid
I
gets an
don't think kids
iPhone.
whip
Wait,
out-
no. A kid doesn't get an iPhone and not a PS4.
I don't think, but that's
You know
what I'm
what I
saying. I
mean?
don't think kids whip out DSs to play
Yes,
movie.
kids whip out
I mean,
DSs.
the next generation is not going to be like the gaming only mobile device is what I'm saying. I think is dying. I think iPhones and Android phones are too
there's-
advanced now.
I think. Well, they're not advanced enough to have control, though. That's one thing.
right.
And kids still buy them. Like, dude, the guys at my job, they're in their 20s, and they just bought new 3DSs.
Yep, guys in their 20s, they bought two. I'm
And
talking about the next round. I'm talking about
Yeah, and the
I'm
next
talking about-
rounds are still buying it.
I'm talking
too.
about
You think-
Walter's kids who are
who's
5
buying
and
them?
8, and all they want are iPads to play Minecraft. They don't even want that crap anymore. Grown-ups want DSs right now.
But well, okay. So hang on. Do Walt's kids care about Xbox One or PS4?
I get. He says they play some PS4. Like his kid wants to play Destiny because he does, but I don't think he actually like does anything. I know he has like a Diablo.
Okay, so
character.
I think maybe it's a valid point. Like if kids don't really care about console games right now, but I don't think that's a problem.
I don't think they care. I
But
don't think
Bobby-
it's that they
Bobby
don't care
brought
about
up a good
console
point.
games. I think when it comes to like being mobile, like they just want their stupid iPhone or their Google phone or tablet or whatever it is. Like that's the
Yeah,
future.
but that experience only
But
goes so
doesn't-
far.
Yeah, but you see,
Yeah,
this,
doesn't
you're
that-
talking
doesn't that
from
kinda
your perspective
support
where
the
you know
idea,
there's
though?
other experiences. That's all they know and play.
So,
Yeah, but
I
then
think-
they'll
I
see
think
something different and they'll want that. That's how I was when I was a kid. If I saw something better, that's what I want.
Yeah, but your version of better is this console thing. Their version of better, like a console's like a movie. Their version of better is like, oh fuck, man, they have this thing on the phone, and I could go to war with my friends, and I could send my troops to attack his base, and he sends his troops to attack my base, and play Clash of Clans. And I think that sounds horrible, but for whatever reason, there's a freaking bazillion people that think that sounds great.
So I think there's at least two perspectives here, and maybe like an additional one from the kids love mobile games. So if we're thinking from like the Nintendo perspective, Nintendo's always got this like mid console generation mentality. We're gonna release this thing that's 0.5% better than what's out there right now. We're gonna do some gimmicky weird shit, and everybody's gonna love it. And like I don't know, recently that hasn't worked, but if it was a PS4 with a peripheral that would let me take all of my AAA console games with me to play them on the road, detached, with no network connection or anything, and then I could bring it back and play that same exact game on my TV when I got home, I think people would eat that shit up.
And then the other thing I want to say,
Nintendo's mid console generation bullshit they do, and they try to like pander to third parties to try to get exclusives, maybe one here and there, and like that bullshit is not going to work. It has to be AAA console with third party support, with AAA titles, including Nintendo titles. And if they want to do that right, they're gonna have to get all those games on board.
So I
all
think,
those developers on board.
The third party dream, I don't think Nintendo cares. They realize that people will buy their console just for their games, and it's the worst thing we did.
Dude, it's not gonna.
It's the worst thing we did because
help,
we gave it to them. We gave them that.
I don't.
You're
know
right
if
for
that's
Wii U,
true.
but I don't think that's going to keep happening.
I don't think that's going to. And I'll tell you why. Nintendo's. It might keep happening. Let's say this new president just runs the company into the ground. But the thing is, Nintendo's not a privately owned company. It's publicly traded. They have to answer to shareholders. And shareholders do ask questions like, hey, why aren't there any fucking third-party developers? Why is the fucking Wii U sinking into the fucking sea? Like, what the fuck's going on?
It didn't sink. It was profitable from day one. They made a ton of money, so the investors didn't care.
The Wii U?
Yes.
How much money are they making? Because from what I understand, they weren't making money off the Wii U.
They're not putting up Sony numbers, obviously, but like that thing is very successful.
So, Mike, is it profitable because it was using
shitty hardware,
mid-grade hardware, and
yes,
yeah, I mean they paid $200 to make one and charged $300 for it.
The PlayStation 4 just went down in price $50, so now a Wii U is literally only $50 less than a PlayStation 4. They don't lower the price on their shit.
But that's wacky, dude. If I was I'm going from my own perspective, but I feel like if I was a kid and I had a choice between a Wii U and a PS4, I would 1,000,000,000% choose PS4. But
and that's what's happening.
Well, yeah, that is what's happening because kids don't play Nintendo games. Grown-ups that grew up with Nintendo do. Mario,
Right.
Mario doesn't mean a whole lot to an 8-year-old these days, because that 8-year-old didn't grow up playing Mario 3 and Mario 2 and they don't have that tie. The only reason Zelda's that successful is because we all grew up playing that shit and we loved it when we were kids and we love it now.
Well, yes. As an aside, I think Zelda's got a great concept.
I mean, I
get your point.
I'm selling Zelda a little short because I'm on purpose.
I think my point is that the idea that they have sounds great. I actually like the idea, but it's Nintendo doing it, and I think they're going to screw it up. It's kind of what I think is going to happen.
It always sounds great, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well,
like the Wii U gamepad controller sounds great.
You don't need the TV. You can play all the games on your gamepad, and to be fair, I play games on the gamepad more than I play on the TV. But that's because the console's in my kid's room, and I play in the living room.
Right.
But what they don't tell you is that you can't go more than fucking 6.5 feet away from the thing before it starts crapping out. Yeah, if this thing this thing really brings console quality, right? Like, and it's like, all right, it legit brings console quality. Like,
I'm not even talking about. Here's the thing: I don't think they need to bring console quality to a handheld. They just need to bring console games. Like, if you were able to play Witcher 3 on a Vita, it's not going to be console quality. It's just going to be Witcher 3.
Yeah.
It'll be some level of quality that's pretty good,
Yeah.
but it's Witcher 3. Like, I'm continuing the game that I'm playing, handheld, disconnected from my PS4, disconnected from a network. That shit sounds really cool. But, and I think Nintendo has an opportunity to make it really, really cool. And they could have an opportunity to really, like, gain back a lot of their ground in the console generation or in the console war. But, like, I do not have any confidence that they're not going to just.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
I honestly think if they really wanted to succeed, they don't need to do this portable thing. It's a good idea. It could happen in the future. They could wait to do it when it's more viable.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they just were like, okay, you know what, we're not going to do this portable thing, but you know what, we will make a new console. We'll make a console that's even more powerful, that's comparable to, like a good running rig from last year, like the best running rig from last year or whatever. I don't know, but but better than the PS4 and the Xbox One hardware wise. And games look like they're running off a fucking NVIDIA Titan or whatever the fuck. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but if they actually like said, hey, you know what, we're going to make it all about graphics this gen, and we're going to get third-party developers on it, and you know what, we're going to eat $100 off each console. Yeah, and a regular fucking controller. Then, yeah, I bet I could see people readopting it and coming back. But even then, the problem that Nintendo has is third parties. So what do they need to do? I think they basically need to say, hey, guess what, third-party developers? They need to basically do what Sony did to win people back from Microsoft. Sony was like, hey, guess what? We want to make the PS4 successful, so we're going to make it easier for you to develop. Oh, you independent developers? Same thing. We're not going to be like Xbox Live.
Right. Yeah, we're just going to open this up. You can do whatever you want.
They basically just need to make it as easy as possible for third-party developers to develop consoles, because that's what they do. They go with the path of least resistance. Yep. And if they provide that path of least resistance and with the highest quality possible, they have a chance. But the thing is, they need to also put it in people's houses. And I think that's a big challenge. Because, one, most hardcore gamers have a Wii U, an Xbox One, and a PS4. Hardcore, right?
Whatever.
Most regular people have a PS4 or an Xbox One, and then maybe some people have both. You know what I mean? I don't want to say most hardcore gamers have a Wii U also. There's people that also have a Wii U amongst those, but not all three. But my point being is, those consoles have only been out, 2 years now?
Yeah, 2 years.
No one's really in a rush to get a new console. They're both very good. I mean, we all played Batman, right? And The Witcher. They look amazing.
Well,
and those are just second year.
Would you be in a rush for a new console if they pushed the new Zelda game to that new console?
No. I mean, and that's coming from me. Don't get me wrong. It's like, one, the new Zelda game.
I'm just thinking of shitty things they'll do to make you want to buy that game.
Yeah,
to make you buy their new console.
I would be annoyed as hell. But
would you still do it?
I don't. Probably not. I'm not actually that excited for it. But that's because Nintendo's doing one of those things that they like to do. Hey, guess what? We're going to show you 2 seconds of the game and then not show you anything for 3 years. That stuff, that doesn't work anymore. There's plenty of other things to play and that are better and that have surpassed the offerings that they give to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And any hardcore Nintendo. I'm a Nintendo fan. I am. I know you are, and I know you guys are. But we're realistic.
I would say
it's like. Well, I mean, when I say a fan, I mean you like their games, but you're not sitting here making illogical assumptions like, oh, but they're the greatest and everything they do is the great. No, everything they do isn't the greatest. They make huge mistakes, and they've been making huge mistakes for like a decade.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
More than a decade.
Yeah, for a long time since they started fucking up with the GameCube. That's when That's when they started fucking up to me. Oh no, you know what? It goes back. The N64 should have had a fucking CD drive in it, and it would have been the fucking shit. So they've been fucking up since back then. But that was wildly successful. And so was the GameCube. Maybe not quite as much. But the GameCube, more proprietary shit. They want to control all the fucking all the production. Fine. The Wii is where they really lost me. I never liked that motion control.
See,
I never liked that console.
And that's where I think they lost touch the most with the Wii U.
Yeah,
because it sold so well to non-gamers. Yeah, it sold so well to non-gamers, and in fact, that was the one thing I can't remember what article it was, but they were talking about how 90% of Wii owners only owned Wii Sports or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And there was another stat at how much Wii got played after the first month or something like that, and a huge crazy number of them just sat in closets and never got turned on, but once every 3 months when they had people over.
Yeah, and I played my Wii quite a bit, but it only ever got time when a game came out, and that was it's like the Wii U. I only play it when a new game comes out, and then once I'm done with it,
yep, same way.
I only ever use it in party situations. It's great for that, but the thing is, any of the consoles can do that.
Yeah, I don't.
Any of the other consoles can do that.
Fibbage and shit.
Use your Wii U for that?
No, I was saying I don't even use my Wii U for parties. I use Fibbage. I use the Xbox for stuff like that.
Yep.
Nintendo.
I haven't played my Wii U.
Let's play some bets real quick then, since we're on the subject. Who thinks this thing will be more than $500?
I don't think it will do more than $500. I think that would be suicide.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has that much confidence in Nintendo. I don't. Maybe Nintendo is stupid and has that much confidence in themselves.
I mean, they just released Yoshi's Woolly World for $60, so.
Yes, that's true.
Well, I think they know they can get away with a $60 game. I don't think they can get away with $600.
The only way I can see it being $500, let's put it this way: if it is $500, that thing better be running a fucking NVIDIA Titan Generation 6 or something, whatever the newest thing is. It has to have some super awesome graphics card in it, and it has to have a real controller. It's got to be able to push. It better look like a Pixar movie when I look at it. If it's anything less than that, I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? If it's more than
I don't think you're strong enough to not buy it. I think you'll buy it.
No, I promise. I promise I will not buy it if it's $500.
Oh, you mean if it's?
I'll rather. Let me rephrase. I will not pay $500 for it. I will not pay more than $500 for it. I will buy it less than that, and not $499. In fact, I won't even pay $400 for it if it's not better than the PS4.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's sweet spot is $300. I think if like Bobby said before, if they create something that is for real, very powerful compared to the other machines in this generation, something comparable to a high-level PC right now, and it's $400, that is probably a good price point. And I don't know about the handheld thing. I can't see myself paying $500 for.
Yeah,
so
the Wii U.
More than that is
Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, the Wii U just kind of. I feel a little burned by it. That's kind of why I'm like that.
Very burned by it. I feel like that console is not worth.
I mean,
the $300.
Don't get me wrong. I do like the games, but I don't like the support behind it. I mean, if they were actually trying harder, and it's they're making games. Come on, dude, 3 games tops a year from the main developer of the console and the only developer of games. There's other games, other people are like, there's other games. No, there's not other games. The other games that you're talking about are on other consoles. They're not on
better
fucking
on the other
Wii U.
consoles. That's the thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, if Nintendo, what bothers me is that Nintendo should be, if Nintendo really gave a shit about the Wii U, they'd show it. They would be like, all right, you know what? We don't have games. We don't have third-party support, but you know what we could do? We can license out games to third parties and have them make them. Or, hey, we can make some new IPs and have third parties do. We could throw some money around that we have to make them, and they don't. I mean, they're obviously kind of like, well, you know what? We're going to invest in the 3DS, and that's been successful for them. And you know what? I personally feel like the 3DS is a great handheld console, but it is just that. It's a handheld. You know what I mean? It's not my main source of gaming. It's my hobby gaming device. That's what I use when okay, I need some time to kill, or I can't reach my console now, and I'm, I got nothing else to do. That's what I use it for. Sometimes a new game will come out and I will play only the 3DS, but that doesn't happen often. The Wii U is worse than that, meaning that I use it less often than my 3DS, and that's not what the Wii U should be like. It should be used way more often than a handheld.
Yep.
So whatever their next console is, it's got to sell me. And I've said this in a podcast before. It's like, their fan base is diminishing. Even there's people that were fans, longtime fans, are just like, you know what? No, sorry.
Well, their fan base is getting older now. Is the thing.
Yeah.
It's us. It's like, they're, like I said, kids aren't growing up playing Mario anymore. They're not growing up playing Donkey Kong and shit. Their kids play Minecraft, and they're into some other shit now.
Or they played Wii Sports, and that's what they think of when somebody.
Yeah, that's why they added the Wii Fit lady into Smash Brothers.
So I don't know, Bobby. I don't know when you bought your Wii U. I think Mike and I bought a Wii U or got a Wii U around the same. And I can tell you that the reason I wanted one was because they showed. And I was like, wow, they're going to release
is a big part of why I bought one also. And if they push that to the new console, even if they do a dual launch like they did with the other one on the Wii, with the Wii and the GameCube, I'll be burned. I'll be really pissed off.
I'm already burnt, though. And if they do that, I'm so mad. I will be so mad if they do that. I hate that.
Bobby, I feel like you're maybe a normal Nintendo gamer. Like, you're burnt, but you still kind of buy games sometimes.
No, I do.
Yoshi's Woolly World, I don't think that's probably necessarily a bad game, but I will not buy that game for $6. I just wouldn't. And I'm not saying that as a judgment on you. I'm just saying, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But I cannot see myself doing it. And I loved Super Mario World. This is my favorite game ever. I think I got a Super Nintendo with Super Mario World for my 14th birthday or something.
Yeah, but did you like the Super Mario World?
Yeah, that's the thing, is I think Nintendo's forgot what made them awesome. They don't understand. Well, I'm not saying they should go back to that, because that's the problem. I think they're trying to capture too much nostalgia, but it's I think they're forgetting that what made me want a Super Nintendo is I went in to Walmart. And Mike, it was at Walmart by our place in Carroll City.
Right,
that one we walked to.
Yeah.
It had a kiosk, that Super Nintendo kiosk that they had at most of the stores.
Yeah.
And it had Mario World playing, and that was the first time I saw it, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this?"
The most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
And
it's incredible.
Right. And the problem is Nintendo, they don't understand that. You know what? It's called a video game. The graphics are a big part of that. And I'm not saying they should be focusing, but it's they put that on the back seat. It's gameplay. It's guess what? People make gameplay on other consoles that have higher hardware fidelity. Do it all the time. Just because you have better hardware doesn't mean you don't have gameplay anymore.
All right, and they've tried to refine the same gameplay for 30 years.
But when I saw Super Mario World in motion for the first time, I was like, whoa, I didn't want to leave Walmart. I had to. and I didn't get like a Super Nintendo for like 2 years after that. You know what I mean? But I didn't care about Genesis. I mean,
Wait,
I
who
would
got
have
a Super
I would have
Nintendo
took a
first? Did I
Genesis.
get a Super Nintendo first? I can't remember.
I didn't know you yet. In fact, that's how I met you.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a Super Nintendo, and I came to your house because Michael
Michael
Schiff knew you.
yeah.
He said you had- and I was like, "Hey, I know you don't know me, but I have a Super Nintendo. Do you want to borrow Final Fight? And if do you have Zelda? And you didn't have it, but Brian did. I think
Yeah.
you sold it to him,
Yeah.
and then you borrowed it back, and then you lent it to me, and I lent you Final Fight, and that's how I got to play Zelda.
Gosh, the good old days.
Good old days.
So here's the thing about Super Nintendo, and probably why I really love Nintendo. Like, I loved everything about that console.
Mario World?
Everything about it.
The Super
console and
Nintendo
Mario
was
World
like
and
my favorite
Super
console
Street
of all
Fighter
time.
I had. It was amazing. The color, even the colors of like the controller were really cool at that time. So like I have some serious nostalgia for Nintendo, and I'm so not excited about anything else, including and especially the Wii.
The point is with that though, is the reason it worked is that Nintendo did this. They said, "Hey, guess what? The Nintendo was awesome. Let's just do what we did before, but do it better. Let's do even more, than we did before."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the Super Nintendo was. It was just a better Nintendo. It had more colors.
Right.
It had scaling. It had better sound. It had more buttons on the controller. It just could do more. Now it's like, okay, let's make a new console, but this time let's let you control it with your foot. Like, it's like,
No,
don't do that.
Fingerprint sense, that heartbeat sensor. Let's put your finger in this thing. It's like you're fingering a butthole, and it checks your sensor. Yeah.
The last time they actually made a console, I think, was actually the GameCube. I think the GameCube was like their actual last legitimate attempt at making a better console. And I like the GameCube. I think the GameCube was actually pretty awesome. The controller was not great.
Yeah, I didn't care for that little controller. It was weird.
But the games that I owned for the GameCube, I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the GameCube a lot. I did not enjoy the Wii as much as I liked the game. I didn't even enjoy the Wii as much as I liked the N64. No. And I think the N64 is probably their, I wouldn't say their worst console, but it's like it's not my favorite because it's got the smallest selection.
I mean, obviously, everybody has a preference, but I think out of all their consoles, I think the Wii was definitely the one that I was like, fuck this garbage. I could never get into the Wii. And I remember when they showed Zelda for the first time on the Wii, and I was in an argument with a guy who was obsessed with Nintendo games. He thought it was the greatest thing ever, and he thought that the new Zelda game and being able to swing the Wii U remote's going to like bring it immersion to whole new levels, and it was going to be the best thing ever. And all I told him was like, I don't want to sit there flailing my arms around. I don't want to fucking do that. Give me a goddamn button to press this. Like, I don't want to swing my sword in real life. I don't want to do that. If I want to do that, I'd be LARPing in the park with those fucking losers. I want to play a video game. God damn it. Alright, guys. The next segment of this podcast is emails, where we read emails sent in from our fans. Alright.
We have fans?
And then the following segment is where we say our goodbyes. So, do you guys have any outro words?
I thought you were going to read an email from our fans. Email from our fans.
Well, that's the reason I skipped right by it, because we have none.
Oh, okay.
I guess if someone wanted to email us, they can send an email to mor911@gmail.com or dgx@sweetassindustries.com.
We're laughing, but that's actually a real address.
It really is a real address. I created it.
Actually, this would be a good opportunity to announce the forum.
Oh, yeah. check us out. Forums.sweetassindustries.com. Don't just go straight to sweetassindustries.com. That doesn't work. It's a
Wait,
secret
did you
website.
actually created a forum on sweetassforums.sweetassindustries.com?
No, it's just forums.sweetassindustries.com.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Yeah,
but okay.
I fucked up bad. I let that one go.
No, it's all right.
Wait, so you didn't register star.sweetassindustries.com?
I didn't, unfortunately. Yeah.
I don't think that's how the internet works. But
No.
I don't think. No, you
I've been
can
out of the
register
game for a while.
Well, I tried to
You can
register a domain
register-
name with emojis the other day, and it didn't work.
I'm pretty sure there's a registrar that will let you register a wildcard domain that you could just front.
All right, guys. Well, if you're still sitting with us and you've listened to all of our ranting and stupidity, I appreciate your time. This has been episode 5. My name's Mike. You hung out with me, Bobby, and Jeff. We're going to end this podcast. We hope to see you next time. This is Drought Gaming, and we're out, bitches. Cue the music.
Good night.
Yeah, cue the music.
Bitches.
It's 2 a.m. also. So there's
We
that.
need some Johnny Polygon.
Cue up the